Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sarah Greener. I'm your host, creator of the Power Time Back System and the Success Map Systems download process. I am grateful to be here and appreciative that you're here along for the ride with me. I am super excited about today's episode. I want to talk about something that I'm seeing lots of, and I wonder if it's because I'm old, or maybe it's because I've been in business a long time. I've been doing business for over 20 years. There's this trend I'm seeing in people focusing on just being behind their computer and not making real life connections with humans in their business. I think it's keeping you stuck. It's been really fun for me recently watching Scarlett explore some different grounding rituals and meditation rituals, and she's even joined me on a women's circle last month for the full moon, and she's coming back to one this month. We're actually going to it tonight. I'm excited about that because it's something that I didn't grow up with. Connecting in circle with women where it's just a safe space to share with no advice, no problem solving, is just a really nice habit, a nice ritual, a nice routine to get into. And having a space where you're regularly letting go of the old and calling in the new. Love that Scarlett gets that opportunity. A bonus, we get to do it on a beach around a fire, and then we go swimming with the phosphorescence after. It's always a very special experience. As a parent, it's been really interesting noticing the different things that we do. There's many things that we do that are similar from my childhood and Johnny's childhood. And also as a parent, you learn and evolve and you bring different tools in. And one of the things that my mum did was these moments of stillness. Gran tried to introduce us to yoga. It's been kind of fun for us to have the space and time to lean into those things, and having space and time to kind of sit and not be doing anything, just literally to be in our bodies, is so useful for our brain-body connection for me as an adult, and I love seeing Scarlett thrive in it as well. Not only that, she loves the fire. She loves starting the fire. She loves being part of the fire, building the fire, keeping the fire going, and being part of the circle and sharing. And she's so beautiful and respectful of holding space for other people to share. It's really nice to see her have a practice of it at a really, really young age. This is going to sound like a really weird thing, but we had steak. And I have missed having like a big piece of meat for dinner. I grew up on a farm and we had steak and 3 vegetables, roasted 3 vegetables, mince with some veggies on the side. Like, we grew up that way. Our way of eating at home was often like that. And since we've been here, because you eat a lot more stir fries and curries and salads and things like that, I miss sitting down to having like potato and meat and vegetables, which seems ridiculous. So spoilt to have all this beautiful Thai food. And it was really nice last night. Johnny managed to hook into a meat order that friends were putting in that were coming down to the island. We had the most amazing steak for dinner last night. It's funny the things that you miss. It's funny the things that you absolutely take for granted when you have it. You know, when I was a girl, I probably never really understood just how lucky we were that we grew up on a big farm, and so we had meat all the time. It's nice that we can still get access to it over here. Enjoyed a beautiful steak meal with my family, sitting around, catching up and hearing all about my daughter's day. It was really nice sitting around dinner. I feel like I'm talking about this way too much. I suspect that if I'm going through it, lots of other women that are in business with children are going through the same thing. So maybe it's useful to you too, is that my sleep. I am as sleep deprived now as I was when I had a newborn baby, which is, as you know, really saying something. It reminds me how much better we function as humans, how much more eloquent we can be, how much more connected we can be, how much more we can notice and adjust our behavior, our words, our actions, our way of solving problems when we're well rested and we've had good sleep. I've had a really wild ride with sleep, maybe 4 to 6 hours for quite some months. And I had a week recently where I got like 6 to 8 hours of sleep. It was so good. And it just reminded me how important it is that we focus on looking after our bodies. And one of the main functions that helps our bodies restore and process information in our brains at night, and for us women, it helps balance our hormones. It does so many good things. And yet we're so often, regardless of what chapter we are or season we are in our lives, sleep deprived. You know, in my 20s, I was probably sleep deprived because I was out partying late and getting up early and going to work with not enough sleep. In my 30s, I had a young baby, and now I'm in my 40s and it's perimenopause. If you, like me, have been having any crazy poor sleep patterns, I see you. Oh my goodness, it makes so many things so much harder. I've figured it out now. Napping, like I am like the queen of the nana nap. Don't ever be embarrassed to nana nap. Don't ever be embarrassed to lie down and rest. Rest is 100% a productive thing. And I think sometimes we're okay with having a nap. We just don't want to be seen to be napping. I would say get okay with it, because you deserve to be well rested and have had a really good night's sleep, because your brain and everything just functions better. You know, my husband's breathing and chewing doesn't annoy me nearly as much when I've had a good night's sleep as when I've had only 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I notice that as women, it's one of the things, like our basic functions even, we sacrifice for other people's needs. And I think when you're in business, it's even more important that we focus and make sure that we're looking after ourselves first, so we can show up in the best way possible for everyone else. And they talk about that empty cup concept all the time. Sleep is like primary. Sleep, hydration, good food, movement, and some sort of mindfulness. This has really turned into a bit of a wellness update. But yeah, those things for me, when I get them right, really help with everything else. And I think I've just had this real reminder of it. So I guess if I needed the reminder, I'm guessing maybe you do too. So make sure you get some good sleep, get some good rest. And yes, a nana nap doesn't kill anyone. In fact, I think it's a great way forward. Lots of good stuff going on. Loving what's happening for Scarlett and how this world schooling, unschooling, homeschooling, I'm not actually sure what we're doing. She's just getting educated in a completely different way from school, is unfolding for us. We're really enjoying it. I think today she's got an improv acting class, an art class, she's had a singing lesson, and then she's going to do her times tables, her book that she's writing with a friend that she met here who's now in New Zealand traveling with his family. She's going to do her actual school lessons at the beach with her dad over lunch today. Sounds like a pretty cool way to get educated, if you ask me, and loving watching her do those things, loving watching her grow with it and just really become more confident as a being in herself, more so than we were seeing with what we were doing back at home. If you've been building your business but you haven't had a real life business conversation in weeks, you are just playing yourself in business right now. I don't know if it's a hangover from COVID. I don't know if it's the rise of the internet entrepreneur. But I'm seeing this theme come up. People are building real life businesses, but trying not to have real life conversations, not talking to people, not meeting with them and having a conversation, not picking up the phone and talking to people. Some people won't even text, and they're just sending out blasted emails and social media posts and hoping that someone will say, oh yes, please can I have your thing? And I don't think for many businesses that is the solution to sales. When we try and hide behind this myth that social media content, blogging, video content, podcasts are the only way to build your business in 2025, I think we're missing the point. The fundamental part of business is that we do business with other people. We do business with people we know, like, and trust. You can build know, like, and trust factors way faster, more simply, when you have an in-person conversation. It's easier. I had a conversation this week that kind of shocked me a little bit, where someone said to me, oh, well, that's your thing, right? Because yes, now we're living location free. I do a lot more of this, a lot more of talking to a camera, sitting in a room by myself, which is weird in and of itself. I do a lot more of that than I've ever done. I've been in business 20 years, and I do that now because I want to be living location free. And so I've been working towards this location free piece for a long time. If I still was running my bricks and mortar business, if I was still meeting with people in person in New Zealand, for example, I would be making sure that I was still meeting with people in person every week. I would still be making sure I was making phone calls. And let me be clear with you, I am making phone calls every day in my business. It is not enough for me just to post and hope. Post and hope is not a business strategy. It's an addiction because it gives me an excuse to go on the internet and scroll for a little bit and look at what everybody else is doing. And then I can get myself down a rabbit warren of judgment that I'm not doing it as well as someone else, or comparison. But truthfully, it's not enough to build a business. And for most of the women that I work with, most of the mums, they have an in real life component to their business. They either have a bricks and mortar space, whether they're making something or they're selling a service, or they might be going to someone. So they might be coming to somebody's business or coming to somebody's home to provide a service. That's the majority of the people that I work with. They have a physical product or a physical service, which means they have some sort of human interaction. And yet we've kind of got it into our heads that if we just sit here in our offices behind our computers and talk to our computers by ourselves, that's how we'll build our business. And do I think that's possible? Yeah, absolutely, you can do it. It's just gonna take so much longer than having actual conversations with people. It's gonna take so much longer than meeting real people. I built even this business, which has been majority online, certainly been very online since 2020. It was much, much easier when I got started because I ran this business for 5 years before 2020 happened, and now I've done nearly 5 years after that. All of my first people that I got into contact with were people that knew me already, people that saw me speak at one of my events or someone else's events, or were referred to me by another human being, and then I had a phone conversation or a coffee meeting, and then they started working with me. I don't want you to look at what I do now and go, oh, that's all that she does. What you can see in the online realm is what she does. Social media gets more social media, and there is just so much more of our business that goes on behind the scenes where we're having conversations with real people. Make sure that you're not seeing and filtering your perception of other people's businesses just through what you see online, because that's the only place maybe you're seeing their business. Truthfully, it's like this much of it. There's a whole bunch of humans behind it. There's phone calls that are happening. There are meetings that are happening. There are in real life conversations happening. And I think you'll find if you pick up the phone, if you have a coffee with someone, if you have a meeting, if you ask to be connected to someone in real life, that will really help your business journey. It's become this way to hide from the real work. The other problem with it is it's really labor intensive. It takes a lot of work to cultivate content and post photos and post videos and create, and it's constantly shifting and changing. So you finally get it figured out, and then everything changes and you have to do something different because it's such a fast moving environment. If you're time poor, if you're juggling mum life and wife life and business all at the same time, as well as being a friend and a sister and a daughter and all of those things, creating and cultivating a whole business off social media and content and the internet, oh, it's hard. It's a lot of work, and it takes a long time, and it requires constant testing and tweaking, and so you have to be on it all the time. Yes, I think you should do it. I'm not going to say don't do it at all. I just think it should be less of your time spent on it, and that we should dramatically increase the number of phone calls we make, the number of in-person meetings you have inside your business to make it grow. If you are spending in your sales, marketing, the front end of your business where you're attracting people and then converting them, if you are spending, let's say at the moment, probably given what you see on the internet, 90, 95, maybe even 100% of that time behind your computer, creating content, making posts, writing emails, sending emails, scheduling posts, then I think you're missing some really low hanging fruit, some really easy money to go and get. The fix that I would first do is take half of that time and spend it on making phone calls and talking to people in real life. And what do I mean by that is, for those of you that are like, oh my God, but I don't want to ring someone, that's terrifying. I don't want to call someone. They won't answer if they don't want to talk to you, if you're worried about that. And two, I'm not suggesting that you have to make 300 phone calls a day. I'm suggesting that for most people that I have met in business, if they pick up their phone and call 3 to 5 people that have reached out to them every day, your sales would immediately come up. I was talking with a beautiful new client that she's just joined us inside the Power Hour, and she was spending a lot of time, effort, and energy in her website and her social media marketing and all of that. And I said, look, that's great. Where does the bulk of your money come from? She went, oh, I've got these amazing retail clients that sell my clothes. Cool. How many of those have you spoken to this week? And she was like, well, none. I was like, the low hanging fruit is in those conversations. And she's been in the program a week, and she's spoken to 3, 4 of her retailers, and she's had nearly $5,000 come in the first week when she was worried about sales. $5,000 of money that she would otherwise not have had. That's the magic. There's direct feedback. Past clients, because you can ask them if they want to come back again, or past customers if they want to buy again. If they don't want to do that, like, who do they know that would potentially benefit from your services, your product, your stuff that you do? You can just call people that you know that your product would really help. I always talk about during the COVID years with the boat. Okay, our business was 95% international tourists. Well, they're not allowed to come now. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to call people that are doing well during this lockdown experience and say, hey, maybe you should bring your family out. Maybe you should bring your team out and celebrate them here on the boat. Johnny and Marlene and the team, they made those phone calls, and they would just pick up the phone and go, who's doing really well? Okay, for some reason, houses have gone mental. Let's call real estate agents. Let's call house building companies. Let's call builders. Let's call people that are doing well in this time and see if they want to celebrate and reward their team with a night out on the boat. It's what saved us during those times, because our business went from, having bookings of $1 million to having 0 bookings in a space of 48 hours. And the real life conversations over the phone are what got us through. And most of those people had never heard of our boat before we picked up the phone and called them. I want you to shift 50% of the time that you're spending posting and creating content into personal outreach and building relationships. Maybe they're joint ventures, maybe they're partnerships, maybe they're actual customers or clients for you. I want you to shift 50% there. There's so many different ways to do this, and I think that will really help you get from that disconnect of like face behind computer creating stuff to here are the real people in my business. The second part of that fix is you already know them. And people are like, no, I don't know. Yeah, you do. For most businesses have been operating for a few years, you've got a list. You've got a list of people that thought they might work with you or thought they might buy from you and then didn't. Get in contact with those people that have raised their hands and said, hey, this looks interesting. You want to get back in contact with those people, which you can do so easily. Get out there, get collaborating with other businesses, other humans that can connect you with the right people. It might be in-person networks. It might even be on a Zoom call, but make some time this week to be talking to real people. I know it's uncomfortable for some of us to pick up the phone, but I promise you, if you ring someone and they say no thank you, they will have forgotten by tomorrow that you even called them. And if they did want your thing, they'll be so grateful you called because they bought a great product or a great service or a great experience instead of some average one. Get yourself a list. Write yourself a list of people you need to talk to. It's that simple. Pen and paper and call them. You don't need a fancy database. You don't need a pipeline. You don't need a CRM. We can sell you all of those things, all those softwares, all those systems, but fundamentally a piece of paper and a pen and write these things down and then make those phone calls is going to help you make those sales. 3 to 5 of those every day, and watch it. Just watch what shifts. The moment you start making those connections, things are really going to change almost immediately in your business, because where you're putting your focus and energy is where focus and energy goes. And then if your focus and energy is going on building human connections, and human connections are the people that buy your stuff, guess what? More people will buy your stuff. Schedule time every week, once a week, to meet up with people in real life, over a coffee, just to chat, just to talk business, or join a community that meets up in person, because that's going to really help you out. You do a great job at what you do, so follow up with the people that have used your product, have used your service, and ask them, who do they know that might need your thing, your product, your service, your experience? Because when you're top of mind for them, then they'll be able to refer you. Because business is human to human. Get out from behind the damn screen and go and make some shit happen. Go and get some sales. Till next time, stay moxie.